All right, Bobby, you're our intro guy.
Today is a special day, and today is a podcast where we talk about that special day. I'm Bobby Parker,
And I'm Joey Nickel.
and that's our intro.
Yeah. Welcome to Today Is.
Yeah, we're back from a break.
We're back from a break. I mean, yes, we're back from a break. We released an episode. I really wanted to have something out there, but this is the long-awaited Season 2 premiere.
Season 2.
This is the Season 2 premiere. I decided 25 episodes was a pretty good amount for a season, because then we've got 2 seasons a year exactly with 2 best-of episodes.
Yes. Yep.
So that gives us 52 weeks then, 52 episodes a year. So I figure 2 seasons is a full year of listening. So you've listened. So just so you know, you've been listening to us for 6 months. Just so you know.
A half of a year.
A half of a year. You guys have been listening to us for 6 months, every week for 6 months. All the thousands of listeners who are listening to us every week for 6 months.
Probably daily.
Daily. Probably. Yeah, they probably listen to it over and over again until the next one comes out.
I know I would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, I'm glad to be back. We did go on vacation a little bit while we were on break. That's why it was National Goof Off Day.
Yes.
So we got to do some vacationing. You went on vacation?
You
went somewhere?
Yes. So the family and I went to see the Savannah Bananas play.
That's right.
In Tampa, Florida. It was their debut in an NFL stadium. And
it was it at Raymond James?
Yes, it was. Yeah, they had the pirate ship in full effect.
Nice.
And as a matter of fact, one of the entrances they did, and you can see it online because it was brilliant. The guy came out to the theme of Moana. And he climbed down the Raymond James Buccaneers pirate ship and singing the song with the cameras on him the entire way up to home plate for his at-bat.
Nice.
It was brilliant.
That's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
That's great. That sounds like a fun time. I love the Savannah Bananas.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan. I have Savannah Banana paraphernalia. That's hard to say. Tongue Twister episode was a couple weeks ago. Savannah Banana paraphernalia.
Savannah Banana paraphernalia.
That was I love the Savannah Bananas, but I've never been able to go to a game. So they're always hard to get tickets.
I did not know how hard it was to get tickets, and I did not understand how exciting it was that my wife won a ticket lottery.
Yeah, she won the ticket lottery. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to put your name in, and then maybe you get some tickets.
Yes, I know that I have been putting my name in, or really my wife has been putting my name in using my email address, and she has been doing it with her name as well. We're doing it legally.
Yeah.
She's just in charge of me.
Yeah.
But yes, she won, and she found out like last November, so we got it as a big Christmas.
That's awesome.
Gift. So it was our big family Christmas thing. So
That's
it was
awesome.
a blast.
And they're selling out. Was it sold out?
It was sold out.
Man, they're selling out NFL stadiums. That's crazy.
Yes. And to answer a important question, this very important question about the ticket prices, because you said in Savannah when you go, the food is part of the ticket. That is not the case. In other stadiums.
Yeah. You're subject to whatever the food is there at that stadium.
Yes, and we were subject to a lot of it. I'm thankful that I don't eat anymore because holy moly, it was expensive.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys were able to do that.
You had a really awesome trip.
I had an awesome trip. We went on a cruise. We went on celebrity cruises.
Okay.
Never been on Celebrity before.
I have not either.
Have you? You have or have not ever been on a cruise?
I have been on a cruise. It has been probably 15 years since I've last been on one.
Oh, okay. So not with your wife then.
Or
was it with your wife?
With my wife, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, we went on a cruise, and let's see. I'm going to adjust my volume a little bit. I think I'm a little bit louder than you right now. All right. We went on a cruise, and we went on Celebrity Cruises, which is a high-end cruise. Now, I'm sorry if this is boring, But I'm gonna do a little cruise talk with you real quick.
Okay.
So there are mass market cruises, bottom cruises, for the cheapest, and they usually have good stuff, but not like the best stuff. Then there's high end cruises,
Right.
and then there's luxury cruises.
Right.
And the price points are usually going to match that. But my mother-in-law somehow was able to get deals to make it really cheap for the high-end cruises. So I've been on 2 high-end cruises, and this has been my favorite one.
Oh my.
Celebrity best one I've ever been on, and it's mostly food. It's mostly the reason why.
Yeah, food is fantastic.
The food is phenomenal on this cruise. Everything I ate was the best I've ever had of that.
Wow, that is saying something.
It was the best steak I ever had. It was the best fish I ever had. It was the best salmon I ever had. It was the best dessert I ever had. It was everything I ate not everything. And there were certain things like, you get a bagel's a bagel, or whatever.
Right,
it's a good bagel, but it's like every dish that I had.
The star of the meal was the best.
I'll put it this way. Every main dish that I ate on that cruise was the best of that main dish I'd ever had.
Oh my, that's fantastic.
I had fish the first night that was the best fish I'd ever had. So much so that I didn't order fish the next night because it was a different kind of fish. I was afraid it wouldn't be as good.
I've been asked, how did they make this fish?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Like it was crispy and buttery somehow, and it was the flavor was so good. The skin was left on, and the skin was amazing.
Oh,
like
okay.
The skin was really good. Like the skin gave it the crispiness, and then the flesh was real buttery and and real light. It didn't taste fishy at all. It just tasted delicious, and that was really good. And then the steak perfectly. I don't know how they're getting the perfect char on it back there. I don't know if they have I don't know what they have. I don't know if they have fire or if they're using fire to get it.
So I know, just having read enough history and military stuff, that fire on boats
fire
is
on a ship
scary,
probably not a good thing.
Very scary.
Yeah, there's probably not fire on the ship.
But they're doing that. They probably have fire like some kind of grill.
They have a grill for sure.
Yeah. It just.
But I just don't know how I don't know how they're getting it to have that Sorry, we're outside and I'm sweating because I'm giant. They have a grill somewhere, but whatever they're doing to cook this steak puts a crisp char on it that you cannot get, that I cannot get with a stove. It's like you have to have a barbecue in order to do that. Maybe they do have coals or something. Maybe there's something that.
Well, they used to have coal fired engines.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I couldn't believe how good this food was. It was so good. The kids loved it. The kids had a blast. I was afraid they wouldn't like it as much because it's not as there's no water slides or anything like that.
Right.
There's a pool and there's fun stuff to do and there's a kids club and everything, but it's not like Carnival and Royal Caribbean where there's a climbing wall and playgrounds and
right. It's
pools.
It's not a giant ship designed as something for the kids almost
right.
exclusively.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't sure how they'd like it, but they loved it. They loved that cruise. They said it was their favorite cruise.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I went on it. I got to hang out with one of the comics a little bit.
Ooh, that's a special treat for us comedians.
Yeah, his name is Lenny Schmidt. Lenny Schmidt was great.
Okay.
One of the best cruise ship comics I've seen.
Okay.
I've had I've been on 8 cruises. I was 100 pounds when I started cruising. I've been on 8 cruises, and so I've seen at least one comedian every cruise.
Right.
And most of the time, more than one comedian. Most of the time, 2, sometimes up to 4 comedians on a cruise, depending on how long the cruise is. And you get all kinds. You run the gamut. A lot of not a lot. I would say half of the comics I've seen are kind of not. I wouldn't say they're bad comics. They're funny. They're getting the job done, but they're not doing anything creative, really. They're just kind of telling hacky jokes and making a living, which there's nothing wrong with that. They're in the entertainment business. They're doing what they want to do.
Right.
But I don't see these guys getting a Netflix special, and I don't think they would either. I think they're there because they can make people laugh, and they can get paid for it.
They've got a very specific skill set.
Yes.
It works right there.
Yes,
and-
I don't see them writing new material or anything like that, these guys. So it is fun every once in a while to meet and see like a real artist who's like, you can tell they're a real artist. They just happen to be on a cruise. I would say about half of them have been like that, and then half of those you're like, oh, that guy's good. Like that guy really knows what he's doing. And I'd say this guy really knows what he's doing. You can tell he's put a little effort into, he puts a little energy into. He forces a little energy into it, which you kind of have to do on a cruise sometimes.
Right.
Especially on Celebrity because it's in the theater. You're doing everything in the huge theater, and which is different than Carnival. Carnival's at a comedy club.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a little more intimate at Carnival. So I could see him being a little more. I could see the animation. Like I could see he had to force some of the animation so that people would latch on, which was great. I mean that's signs of a professional, somebody who's been doing it for 30 years, which he has. But great comic, Lenny Schmidt. My friend requested him on Facebook. I don't know if he accepted, but we talked for a little bit. We hung out a little bit. He's a good guy. We know a lot of the same comics and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that always helps as an in.
Yeah, good guy. Almost every comic I've met on a cruise has been very nice, and we're able to talk shop at least a little bit because I think it's because cruise comics. They get lonely, maybe.
I would.
I'll tell you, on a 7-day cruise, I end up becoming really good friends with those guys. Like we end up going to lunch and stuff, and like because they're like, oh, another comic, let's talk for a little bit, let's hang out, and because they don't have a lot of comics to hang out with. Sometimes they have one other comic on the ship, but not always.
Right.
I've been on several ships where it's just been the one comic, so I always like to introduce myself, and I'm never like. I never am like, hey, let's go hang out, or whatever. I'm just like, hey, my name's Joey. I'm a comic. I'm based out of here and here. And it's like, oh, okay. Do you work? And they always ask, do you work the cruise ships? I say no, but I have some really good friends that do, and I usually name the ones that I know that are on cruise ships. And like, oh yeah, I know that guy, and I know that guy, and I usually look them up ahead of time, and we've usually got mutual friends somewhere along the line. I've been doing it long enough that I doubt there's a comic. That's not, if a comic is, as long as they're not like super famous or brand new, then we probably have mutual friends. Like anywhere in the United States, any comic, and we probably got mutual friends at this point. I've been doing it long enough. But I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. Did you guys do anything else in Tampa?
In Tampa, no, we got down there basically in time to get into the hotel and then go to the stadium. Getting into the hotel took a little bit longer because when we did the auto check-in over the phone, and we got to the room and somebody else was in the room, which
and you used your phone to open the door and everything.
We used our phone to open the door, open it. Thankfully, nothing was revealed that shouldn't be revealed.
Oh, that's not good.
But it was like, hey, we ended up spending like an extra hour at the hotel. Like, hey, let's make sure our stuff's in and there's not going to be any issues. And
I don't. I travel a lot. Obviously, as comics, we travel a lot with our families. We travel, but I've heard several stories of that happening to other people. That has thankfully never happened to me.
Yes.
So, but I have heard many stories of people. They open that door and there's already somebody there.
Yeah, that frightens me so much. Not because I'm walking in because I'm like I don't want somebody walking in on my family.
Yeah.
And like, hey, when you're in here,
I flip that.
Oh,
I flip that thing as soon as we get in there because of that. I fear that somebody will accidentally get our key or something. I flip the security thing right off the bat, and that's not even really for security; it's for embarrassment. That's mainly what it is.
Yes, that's I don't need somebody pressing charges because they saw me.
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't need somebody getting me kicked out of the hotel,
right? Like
because they walked in on me.
Yeah. It was my room, but really nobody should be subject to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a huge fear of mine, and so that's great. You were able to realize that.
Yeah,
fear of mine, and there was no security. Like you went right in, like there wasn't the chain.
So people were not in there. All the
okay. Just their stuff was there.
Their stuff was in there. Somebody.
That's great. Thankfully.
The bathroom door was closed.
So somebody could have been in the bathroom.
Someone could have been in the bathroom, but we just immediately stepped out.
Great.
So like it was obviously occupied.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't have the embarrassing "Who are you?" kind of thing. So yeah.
So my wife does. She's a coach for the mathletes. For Math Counts is the name of the program, and they're mathletes. And this is how you know, and I don't think I've said this on the podcast, this is how you know my children are growing up in a different time than I did. My son is a mathlete, and he has not been beat up once. Right? Like, I feel like when I went to school, like, the mathletes, you at least get one beat up. Like, you get beat up at least once a year. When you he wore a shirt to school today that said "Mathletic Department," like, and he didn't, and he wasn't worried about getting beat up at all. That's just not like I one time I got bullied by the football team for wearing matching socks. Like, I just showed up to practice and like, hey, look at Joey and his fancy socks today, and it's like they come like that. Like, you got to make an effort if you want them to not match. Like, so I can only imagine if I had showed up to school with a shirt that said "Mathletic Department." How much I would have gotten made fun of by the football team.
The thing I don't understand is when kids started getting varsity letters for band.
That happened a long time. My brothers and sisters got varsity letters for band. And,
you know what?
And I had to earn it the hard way by my team making it to the playoffs,
right?
And that meant everybody got a letter.
And the thing that I really want to emphasize here is I think the arts are more important than athletics. I do. I think the arts are more important than athletics. However, I don't think athletics and arts are the same thing, and you shouldn't be rewarded the same for both.
Like, that's the thing. You get a letter for being in sports. Like, that's what it is.
Yes.
You get a letter for being in sports. It's called a varsity letter for a reason. It's varsity sports.
Right.
So, and I had to earn that varsity letter by being on the kickoff team, the kickoff return team. Like, okay, in our school it was for football. In order to letter, you had to play, I think, half of the quarters. So, like, you had to play an average of 2 quarters a game in order to letter.
Right.
Or your team had to make it to the playoffs.
Okay.
If the team made it to the playoffs, everyone lettered for some reason. I don't know why that was the rule, but that was the rule. And for sophomore year, first year of varsity football, I did not play very much, but our team made it to the playoffs, so I lettered.
Awesome.
Second year, I played enough to letter because I was on a special teams. I was on a kickoff return team.
Right.
And then senior year, I played a ton. I wasn't, a star or anything, but I played a ton. So, I played enough to letter. But we also made it to the playoffs that year. So I was a 3-year letterman in football and baseball. And here comes my brother playing the trumpet. And, they had choir letterman, too.
Choir letterman.
Yeah, he got letters for choir and band. He got a letter and a little. It came with like a little
pin,
music note pin and a little trumpet pin.
Yeah.
For trumpet, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it because it's just not a sport. It's an incredible talent. It's a wonderful thing, but it's not a sport.
It's very different. They still give out medals and trophies though. You get medals in band.
Sure.
And you get trophies in band.
Yeah, you get medals for peace, like the Nobel Peace Prize, but I mean, you don't
that doesn't mean you get a varsity letter.
No, don't.
Listen, you may have invented a new way to create electricity, but I'll be darned if you get a varsity letter for that.
Right, yeah, hey. All right, everyone lives in prosperity, but can you form tackle? The answer is no.
You may be the first black president in the history of the United States, a country that used to have slaves, but you better not get a varsity letter for that.
Well, he was very good at basketball.
He was good at basketball.
You
can give Barack Obama a varsity letter for playing basketball in those mom jeans. But you cannot. He is not allowed to get a varsity letter for winning the Nobel Prize.
Right,
that is not allowed.
Yeah, because he gets a Nobel Prize for it.
Yeah, He gets the Nobel Prize. He gets the medal. Yeah. There's a cash prize for the Nobel Prize, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's $1 million.
Yeah, it might be. It's $6 million. I think I made that up. I have no idea. It's $3 billion. He gets $3 billion.
$3 billion.
But he better not buy a varsity letter with that $3 billion.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Can't
do you hear that, Barack Obama? I know he listens.
Yeah, hey.
Every week.
Gerald Ford was the varsity letterman president.
Yes. Gerald Ford and Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan played football in college.
Did he?
If you knew that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a D3 guy. Eureka College, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Eureka.
He played football in college, and then he was a sportscaster for years before he went into acting. He actually went to school for broadcasting, and then was a sports broadcaster for years. He actually has a story. I read his autobiography because I used to be a Republican, and I read his autobiography when I was in high school, and there was one game. The way they used to, and he would broadcast on the radio. This is, he was super old. This is a long time ago.
Right.
He would broadcast on the radio, and he would not be at the game. He would get a what's the
telegraph.
Telegraph. He would get a telegraph. They would get a telegraph into the recruiting booth, into the radio station of the game. They'd get stats.
Right.
Telegraphed. All they'd get was stats, and it'd say like so and so, swing and a miss, strike 2, strike 3. They get all that in telegraph. I even think he did not know how to read telegraph. They had a telegraph reader that would then write it down for him. I think it was like even 2 steps before he actually read it on the air. Then he would read it on the air as if he was at the game and calling the game. And he would have to put a little flavor on it and talk and get excited about certain things and then one time the telegraph stopped working. Like it just couldn't stop working. And he was in the middle of an at-bat. And so he just kept saying it fouled off. He's like, oh, it's another foul ball. He swing it up, tips right off the edge of the bat into the stands. And and he just kept saying it fouled off. I think he said he did like 15 foul balls before they finally got the connection back. And he's like, all right. And he's strikeout. And then he moved on. And later, somebody came up to him and was like, hey, that was a crazy... That had to be a record for foul balls, right? It's like, yeah, it must have been.
And oddly enough, I'm pretty sure he used the same thing when dealing with Russia.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he just kept on stalling and watched their entire economy.
I think towards the end they were using a telegraph translator to do his speeches because he was just so old, his brain wasn't working anymore, and they just had to send it right in through the.
Well, Nancy, he just fouled that one off.
Listen, this is not a political podcast, and I am not going to make any statements about who I voted for or who I care about. Except for we did talk political once. We did do that once. I will not make any statements about who I support, but I think it is insane. It is an insane prospect or an insane thing to have first of all, Barack Obama, not very old for a president.
Right.
Like, what was he? Was he in his 40s or did he hit his 50s before he got elected?
I think he was early 50s, but
early 50s, but still pretty young.
Yeah, very, very young.
Very young guy. The youngest president I think to be elected was John F. Kennedy, which I think he was 45 or something.
He was the youngest elected. Teddy Roosevelt was
the youngest to become president.
Right.
Youngest man to be elected president was JFK. Most of the time they're in their 60s, I would say. I would say that's probably the average, and the median would be 60s or 50s. Barack Obama, pretty young for a president.
Very young, yes.
And pretty hip, I would say that having Barack Obama as the president was one of the most progressive presidents we've ever had. Whether you agree with that or not, whether you liked him or not, everybody, he was one of the most progressive presidents.
I think if you like him or not, you can easily say he's one of the most progressive presidents.
For sure. And then the very next election, the oldest president we have ever elected in the history of this country, followed by the oldest president we have ever elected in the history of this country, followed by the oldest president we have ever elected in the history of this country, who was also the oldest president previously. Yes. So it's like it was so crazy to me to see a young president, and then followed by 3 elections in a row of breaking the record for oldest president to be elected.
And I am thrilled that there is zero chance that we'll not have that again.
I really hope we don't like. In order for that to happen again, we'll have to. How old was he? How old is Trump now? Like 78? I want to say
78 or 79.
78, 79, so
Yeah.
even 77. I just hope we. I hope we never. Oh, I'm losing the signal. Okay.
Yeah.
You hear me? Okay. I really hope we never elect somebody that old again.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if other people can get behind this. Probably not people that are 77. Maybe they might not agree with me. I don't know.
Here's the real issue with saying that.
And I say that in making fun of Republicans and Democrats.
Oh, hey, no,
I'm not saying that is a Republican thing. I didn't like that Biden was the oldest president either.
I'm not going political with it. I'm saying here's the issue. Saying it is our lifespans are getting longer. Geriatric care is getting better, and we're getting better at diagnosing and keeping mental acuity up. So I think we are going to see people get gradually better, but it should be a while before we have somebody that old in that office.
Yes, I agree. I think sometime in the future we're going to see 80-year-olds that have the mental capacity of a 50-year-old.
Yep.
Like that's something that's definitely within the realm of possibility of technology and the way things are moving and health and everything. But can we just maybe next election not elect a 77-year-old? Can we look at that? Can we at least look at that?
I'm with you. And I hate being the guy. It's like, oh, hold on, we've got to say this. I hate doing it. It's just me.
Yeah. Can we just be just maybe look into somebody who's maybe 70?
Yeah. Hey,
maybe go down just to 70. Let's try that for a while, and then see how it goes.
And I've got an idea. Let's talk about people's ideas.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of crazy. Or you might as well. I would like to say I do have something for today's day. That kind of it kind of moves us into this
category
from this conversation.
All right, we're 27 minutes in.
We're
almost halfway through our podcast.
And it's National Something on a Stick Day.
And it is National Something on a Stick Day. National Something on a Stick. A flag is something you can definitely have on a stick.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would say that a majority of flags are on a stick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a flag on a window.
Sure.
You can put a flag on a coffin.
Right.
You can put a flag
on
your shirt. Apparently.
Yeah.
You can put a flag in your hair as a bandana, but mostly they're on sticks. Yeah. So yeah. Something on a stick. National Something on a Stick Day. We have not limited it to food. Our subjects today. Now we have a couple things we're going to do with this. I have spent all day making a list of everything I can think of that is on a stick. Have you? And I asked you to. Were you able to do that?
I was able to do a little bit of it, but I ran into an issue. Everything's on a stick.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of stick-like things.
Yeah.
So I also gave the premise that we're going to play a game. So the game I invented for us is that we're each gonna list 5 most common things. Like if you were to let's say Family Feud style, like if you're to poll 100 people and you're like, name something on a stick. These are the top 5 things in my mind. Like I'm trying to come up with 5 things. Now, I'm trying to match you on those 5 things.
Right. Yep.
So if you have 5 common things on a stick, we're gonna try to match each other. So, can I see your pen for a second?
Yes.
I need to mark which ones I was. Okay. So, where is it? I'm gonna let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I've got my 5 most common things on a stick. You got your 5 most common things?
I am, yes, basically.
Okay, I'm going to, so what I'll do is I'll name one, and then if you have it, say you have it, and we each get a point.
Okay, let me.
I don't know how one of us would get a point and not the other.
Okay, and. Oh.
Because it's going to be a list of 5.
All right, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, so no, here's something on my list, and this is in no particular order. So I'm going to name it. If you have it, then point for us, I guess.
Okay.
I haven't really thought out how the scoring system's going to work on this.
That is okay. It's just the national championship
Yes.
that's on the line here.
Okay, kebab.
Ooh, I did not have a kebab, but
dang.
I'm a fan of the kebabs.
Yeah, right. That's some good food on a stick. Is a kebab.
As a matter of fact, one of my all-time favorite things to do is like going to like international like festivals and seeing how many different foods on a stick. 'Cause
Yes.
every country has
Every
food on a
country
stick.
has some sort of food on a stick. Yep.
It's the best kind of food.
In Italy, we boil those sticks, and then they become noodles.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. That's how noodles are born.
Yeah, that's
They start off as sticks.
I used to go to this restaurant in Canton.
Yeah.
Papa Bear's Pizza Oven.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was a different one. But they had you'd get served your drink in a mason jar, and the straw was a noodle.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I mean, you could technically eat the straw if you wanted to, because it was just an uncooked noodle.
It was just an uncooked noodle.
I think a farfalle, or is what's the
Farfalle.
Farfalle
Is that what it is? No, that's
I
not
don't
right.
know.
I said that wrong. Farfalle is the bow tie one, I think.
Okay,
I can't remember. There's a lot of them.
I just know it's like a large spaghetti with like a hole in the middle. It's a straw.
All right, your turn. Now name one and see if I have it.
Broom.
Broom. I did not have broom.
Okay.
So we did not get a point on round one.
Okay.
Corn dog.
I did not put corn dog on here, but I almost exclusively went away from food.
Oh, you didn't? Well, see, I was thinking most common things
are food.
Are going to be food. Most
Right.
common things on a stick are
Right.
going to be food. Probably.
Yeah. So I didn't list food items, but
all right. Well, this is going to go rough.
I would like to add some color here, though. I did try a Korean corn dog for the first time.
Yes, I've heard they're delicious.
The other day.
Was it good?
It was fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
So my son and I went to a place here in Jacksonville that's got Korean corn dogs. We went to that, and then we went to see First Coast Comedy. It was like the last night of spring break for them. So it was like, hey, let's go do it. Korean corn dogs, amazing.
That's great.
You got to try them.
All right. So name one and see if I have it.
All right. Selfie stick.
I did not say selfie. Top 5 most common things on a stick?
They were very popular for a very long time.
Well, they're banned in Disney. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
They are banned.
Okay.
If you as you're walking in, I just went there a couple weeks ago, and when you're walking in, they say, "Please do not have any." And it was listing things, and it's like guns, knives, drugs, or selfie sticks. It's like, oh, that goes on the same list, huh?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
no selfie sticks at Disney.
Yeah, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, apparently. All right. I'll go non-food. I'm gonna say I have stop sign, but I'm gonna say just street signs in general.
Street signs. Yeah,
Street
I mean,
signs.
it's information on a stick.
I would say would be a top 5 most common things on a stick.
Yeah, yeah. Here's one. Now, there's so many things that this falls under, but I think it's very specific. A pizza cutter. Because you.
Yeah, I guess that is on a stick. Wait, is that on your top 5?
It is. Like, everyone's got it.
Do you understand the game? The idea is we're supposed to pick things we think we would say, like the thing, like this.
But see, everything that has a handle is on a stick.
You thought things on a stick. Boy, Joey's really gonna think of pizza cutter. I think that's what you were going. That was what was going through your head.
Hey,
Joey's gonna take the leap to handle is same as a stick.
Yeah.
And say pizza cutter.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, I did not have pizza cutter. I did, however, have candy apple.
I love candy apples.
And I'm guessing you did not, because that is a food item.
I did not. I did have a toilet plunger.
I did not have a toilet plunger. Do not confuse those two things.
No.
That would be very bad.
That would be
if you confused a candy apple with a toilet plunger.
yeah, that would be very awful.
Please do not
misuse of sticks.
confuse a candy apple with a toilet plunger.
For the love of God.
All right, so this is the 5th one.
Okay.
This is our only hope, which I don't have any faith in because it is a food item. Popsicle. I mean, that's got to be number one. Like, if you polled 100 people, popsicle's probably going to be number one answer, I would say. Things on a stick.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, maybe lollipop would be number one.
Or like yeah.
All right, what do you have for your fifth?
Fifth one, I had mop, which is basically a wet broom.
Listen, conceptually, technically, I guess that's a thing on a stick. But when I'm thinking of things on a stick, that's a stick on a thing. Do you understand? You understand conceptually? The mop goes on the ground.
The mop
that's a stick on a thing. The mop is the thing, and then the stick, like, I mean.
Whoa.
When I'm thinking of things on a stick, I'm thinking the thing is on top, the stick is on bottom. That's what I'm thinking of.
You can turn a mop upside down.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
I mean, like,
you can if you want to get moppy, gross stuff on you. If you want to get gross mop water on your face.
There's zero reason why the stick has to point in a certain direction.
Well,
I mean, you're walking up here with street sign.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that mop you're
Listen, I will agree street sign is not the number one answer, but I mean popsicle? I mean, you didn't even think of popsicle?
I avoided food.
Well, I did not avoid food because one of us is not losing weight.
So
one of us still thinks like a fat man.
So this is what I had also listed, and this is more conceptual.
Okay.
So it's a lawn tool. Have you ever seen a trimmer on the edge of on a stick, like a chainsaw on a stick?
Yeah, a chainsaw on a stick. Yeah. All right, that's a good one. Well, save that one for your obscure list.
Okay.
Or is that your first obsure? Is that what you were going to say? Or did you have others that you wanted to say?
That's kind of where we were.
So the next game is 5 most obscure things on a stick. So these are things that normal people wouldn't think of, and then we get points for not having the right thing, which I'm guessing we're going to go 5 at 5 on this because we have not been on the same page.
We'll probably have exact same things.
Yes. What if we do? Chainsaw on a stick's a good one because that is definitely something on a stick, and that would be something people wouldn't think of necessarily. Here's one I have, a head.
Ooh,
like Vlad the Impaler.
Wow,
like impaled on a stick.
Wow, that is gross. You are absolutely right.
You do not have that one.
I do not have that one. I had Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. Yeah. That's a good one. That's one you don't think about. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're definitely on a stick.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could make a scarecrow without a stick, but it's kind of part of it.
Right.
That's kind of. I just thought a really bad one.
I mean, a head on a stick.
I'm not going to say it, but it's religious.
From what I understand, there weren't any crows.
That was the conception. That was the conception of the scarecrow. But I don't know if you knew this, but the Romans invented scarecrows. I don't know. Never mind. That's not going to go well. Easter is coming up. All right.
Let's just pass over that one.
So what do you have so far? Chainsaw on a stick? Yeah, I know. That's a good one. That's good. That was a Jewish way of doing it. So let's. So you've got chainsaw on a stick and scarecrows. Those are good ones. And I have, what did I say? Head. And what was the other one I said? No, I can't find it.
Oh no, I'm still stuck on stop sign. That's
Did I say 2? No, maybe I haven't said no.
No.
No, I said 2, right? Maybe not. All right.
I don't think so.
No, I guess I didn't say 2. Okay. No. So, not thought of one, I would say blind people.
No. You're if you're gonna give me crap for mop, you can't give me a crap for blind.
No, my issue with mop wasn't that it wasn't on a stick. Okay. My issue with mop is that that's not something I think that most people would think of when you say something on a stick.
Okay.
I would say that falls under of a more obscure thing than a 5 most common things you think of when you think of something on a stick.
Okay.
That's my issue with mop. Because there is a stick involved with mop.
Okay.
But I would say blind people is not something you would think of
No.
when you think of things on a stick.
Usually do not think of blind people, mostly because I ignore them. Or died. Yeah, I just would not have thought
So
about
I'm going to New York next month, and I'll actually be in New York during Easter. And they have a sign in New York. I don't know if you've ever driven in the state of New York.
It has been decades.
I have a couple times, and they have a sign there. And I don't know if it's in New York City, but I know it's in like Western New York,
Right.
the state. It says state law, yield to the blind. They had to make a law for that? Also, was it legal until recently? Like, did they make that? Like, how many blind people died before they're like, you know what, we should probably make a law about this and let people know?
You know what? They're not putting those signs up to make blind people feel better.
Well, no, they'll never know those signs exist.
Yeah. That's
I don't think they're, unless they put some braille on there. All right, what else do you got?
water tower.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was thinking
Yes.
for a second. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh no, they are on sticks. Yeah.
Usually it's
Usually,
a stick.
yeah.
with
If you've
a-
got that kind of water tower,
with the
that's
bulb on top.
the
Yeah.
single stick with mine does in Green Cove Springs.
Yeah.
We've actually got multiple water towers. One of them is on a stick. One of them has 4 things. But yes, that is a good answer. That is an obscure sounding answer. A crossing guard sign.
A crossing guard sign.
Yeah,
Oh.
which you know what, that might be conceptually the same as a stop sign, because it
Right,
is a
right.
stop sign.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking of it as a stop sign. I was just thinking of a crossing guard holding a sign.
Right.
Did you know they call them in England? They call them like lollipop men or something like that.
No, I had no idea about
I
that.
think that's what they call them, and it's like they use that as like that's their official name. Like they like I'm a lollipop man. Like
creep.
I know.
No.
And it's like mostly I just around kids. It's like-
I go stand on the street corner, holler at kids. I'm a lollipop man.
all right, what's your
Gross.
number? What are we on? 4, 3, 4?
Yeah. So actually, I've where was I? I just had it. It was.
So what'd you say? So far we've got chainsaw,
we had
water tower. What was number 2? What'd you say for number 2?
a scarecrow,
Scarecrow, chainsaw, water tower. So what's
Yes.
your number 4?
and I lost it. I just had it in my head because this was one that was. Ew. Oh my.
All right. Well, I'll say
Yeah.
mine and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Puppet.
Puppet. Ooh, that is a good one.
A puppet.
Mine was like I had a picture of a guy with a cane, and I couldn't articulate the word cane, and I feel rather dumb. It's basically the same thing as a crutch, but a cane because it's a guy on a stick. But yeah, that
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this for
Gotcha.
how about this for obscure things on a stick?
okay.
Pirates.
Ooh, I like it. The peg leg.
Yeah, a peg leg pirate.
Yeah.
That's something that's gonna go on the top 5 of things you're not gonna think of on a stick. You got any more? Or are you out of juice?
I had one more, and it is an obscure thing: a pool sweep net. Because you've got to skim the
You've got to skim with the stick.
It's on a stick. Yeah.
You're really going cleaning supply heavy on these. on these. Were you sitting out here at the time where you're like, let's see, broom?
I was walking around
Well,
the house.
finding things with sticks.
Yes, because we discovered that we were doing this today.
Yeah.
So we
All right.
we kind of had to
Here
think about
is
that.
maybe my favorite thing on a stick.
Okay, favorite thing on a
All
stick.
right. Now I take that back. This is my favorite thing to eat on a stick.
Favorite thing to eat on a stick.
A cake pop.
Ooh.
That is one of my favorite things to eat on a stick.
I can see people liking that. Not me.
You don't like cake pops?
No.
I love cake pops.
The cake part's good. I don't like icing, and that's
Oh,
seems
well,
to
that's
be-
right.
Yeah.
I forgot you hate icing.
Yeah,
I forgot you're a terrible person.
exactly.
I forgot you're a communist.
100%. I hate freedom and
I
icing.
forgot you hate America.
My favorite dessert on a stick is very easily the frozen banana dipped in chocolate with nuts at Disney.
What's that say?
Frozen banana.
I have frozen banana. We'll give each other a point. We got a point on that. Frozen banana.
That is my favorite dessert of all
frozen
time.
bananas are very good. Frozen banana on a stick is very good. There's always money in the banana stand.
Always money in the banana stand.
Yeah, the frozen bananas are very good. They have them on St. George Street.
Do
at where do they have frozen bananas? At one of the chocolate shops.
Okay.
They have frozen bananas, frozen chocolate covered bananas. I can't remember. But have you ever eaten a banana not dipped in chocolate that is frozen?
Yes.
It like almost has like an ice cream texture to it. That's why they're so good.
Yeah, that's
My wife is not a banana person though.
Ooh,
I love bananas.
Bananas. So there's actually a kitchen product called the Yo Nana, where you take frozen bananas and it grinds it basically into an ice cream. So
I bet that's a good ice cream.
It is.
You could substitute that for a healthier ice cream.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love bananas.
And you don't have to have that specific product for it. But
yeah,
yes,
you can put it in a blender or something.
It's so good. Yeah,
bananas are good. Bananas are very good. When I was doing protein shakes real hard, I would do banana. When I was working out a lot and doing protein shakes, because bananas have potassium, which you need when you're working out a lot.
Yes.
And so I do bananas. I put a half a banana, ice, and water, and then the protein powder, and that was enough to be delicious enough to make, for that protein shake to go down.
Oh yeah.
Bananas are good.
My one now is frozen banana, so I don't have to use ice.
Yeah, there you go.
And then some protein powder, a little peanut butter powder.
Peanut butter's a good one. Peanut butter's a good one. If you get healthy peanut butter, that's a good one as a good substitute for something sugary.
Yep.
Even though I know peanut butter probably has carbs in it and stuff, obviously, but it's not like eating sugar. It's not like eating candy or something. It's not like putting sugar into your milkshake. So yeah, peanut butter, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then just a little yogurt, little milk, and that's perfect. That's
peanut butter and bananas together.
Oh, it's amazing.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And my wife would disagree because she does not like bananas.
But Elvis
knew what he was talking about.
Elvis knew what he was
Elvis
talking
knew
about.
what he was doing when he put peanut butter and bananas together.
And that man was known as the pinnacle of health for a reason.
Yeah, that man, long and illustrious 27 years.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how old he was. He wasn't 27. I think he was...
Ran many marathons.
Yeah.
Known for his
Everyone
cardiovascular
knows.
prowess.
Everyone, when you think of healthy rock stars, you think of, and it obviously wasn't because of the drugs.
No.
It was definitely the fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches that were keeping him healthy. Actually, that probably was the healthiest thing he was eating.
Most likely.
That's probably the healthiest thing he was putting into his body.
He's like, hey,
bananas and peanut butter.
I've got to slow down. I just need a pound of bacon and a gallon of peanut butter.
I better
and
get myself some peanut. You got any peanut butter and bananas? Peanut butter and nanas. He used to call them peanut butter and nanas. I think peanut butter and nanas. Mm-hmm. I gotta chase down this heroin.
You gotta need a gallon of butter for this.
Yeah, I need some. Yeah, that was. I don't. But he was onto something. They are delicious, and if you can if you're going for sweet things that aren't that terrible for you, that's pretty good.
Yeah, agreed.
You ever make no bake peanut butter cookies?
No,
or anything like that, where like you take peanut butter and then like oats. And like you mix peanut butter and oats.
I know I've had things like that, but I've never made it.
They're delicious.
And I will say this, and I'm probably going to catch your ire again. As much as I love peanut butter, despise peanut butter cookies.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, they're not my favorite. They're
almost universally way too dry.
I was just about to say they're almost always dry.
Yep.
Peanut butter cookies are almost always dry. If you want a good peanut butter cookie, you got to mix it with something. That's why Reese's uses chocolate. I mean, that's why you put the chocolate with it. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're gonna go peanut butter in a cookie, it's got to have chocolate too, to balance out the dryness, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. Peanut butter cookies are very dry. But that's why the no-bake ones are not, because you don't bake them.
Right. Right.
You just mix them together and then eat them.
Right, and it sounds good. I'm sure I've had it, but I've never made
Sought
it
it out.
because like my family knows hey, we just don't eat peanut butter cookies or make them because we don't like them, and it might just be I don't like them and I force it on everyone else, but
All right. Well, before we wrap up, so that was mostly what we wanted to talk about today. We're very happy that we're able to convey our differing opinions on sticks and what goes on them. So go out and celebrate. Today is National
Something on a
Stick Day. But before we wrap, I want to talk about we did go on vacation, but I did have a show on Friday at Barley and Pie. It was a great show. We had a good showing. Chris Buck was our headliner. Everybody loved it. However, unfortunately, Barley and Pie are closing their doors. So that was the last show we'll ever do there. And we did not know it was going to be the last show, which is disappointing. I wish I'd have known it was going to be the last show, but I don't think they knew it was going to be the last show. Until it was too late. I just want to shout out, thank you to Barley and Pie, to Clay Hare, the manager there who hired us, and the staff there was great.
They were amazing.
I never had. They were always willing. They were great, always willing to bend over backwards and help me get set up and everything. Every time I brought my equipment in, like, oh, can I help you out? Or they open the door for me. Great staff. They loved the show. Unfortunately, probably the best show I've ever run was that show. I mean, it took a couple to get going. It took a couple to get really good. But once it got going, we did 6 of them.
The numbers were there, man.
We had a good turnout every time. Even that one time we had a kind of small turnout, we ended up with like 20, which was good. So it's very sad. I'm very sad, and I am currently looking for another location to move our show to, because we've built a good fan base over there. We've got a good group of regulars that were coming to every show, and I'd like to have somewhere for them to go to in Fleming Island. So I have been talking to some other venues to try to transfer our show to them.
Excellent.
And hopefully not miss a beat. I'm trying to keep it on the same day.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated. But yeah, just thank you to everybody who came to that show. It was such a great show. One of the best that I've ever been a part of, producing and performing at. So thank you so much. And on that note, you got any shows coming up this week?
Yes, I've got a show coming up this week, downtown Jacksonville. The information is going to be on Bobby Parker Comedy on socials. It's at like the Bay Street Grill. I forget the name off the top of my head. That sounds right. And then in a couple weeks, I'm going to be.
Who runs that one?
That's Flo.
Oh.
And
what's her last name?
Flo Funny. Yeah.
Anyway.
And that info will be there. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be at Veterans United Brewery with Johnny Mack.
Oh, nice. Johnny Mack's coming into town.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't seen him in years. I think the last time I saw Johnny Mack was when I want to say when Jackie Knight was still running shows.
Okay.
Was the last time I saw Johnny Mack.
I did a Christmas show with him, and we're hooking back up for a couple others
nice.
Here. So
yeah, I like Johnny Mack a lot.
He's a great guy.
Great guy, great comic. Oh, well, that's fun. This weekend, let's see. What day is this? Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight, I will be at the Green Turtle Comedy Club in Isla Morada. We have 2 shows. I believe it is 6:30 and 8. Something like that, or 6 and 8:30. I can't remember. Yeah. Something like that. It's 6-ish and 8-ish on those. So Green Turtle Comedy Club, we're doing 2 shows there at the Green in Isla Morada. That'll be a great time. This whole weekend I'll be gone. I'm doing Pompano Beach Brewing, and then I'm going down to Isla Morada. So, but yeah, if you're listening to this on Saturday, if by chance this is Friday, I think it's Saturday though. But if no, you know what? It might be Friday.
It's Friday.
If this is Friday, we are also doing Friday. I think the Friday show is at 7:30. Green Turtle Comedy Club in Isla Morada in the Keys. And so, yeah, I think it's Friday.
It is Friday.
Okay. So tonight, Green Turtle Comedy Club. Tomorrow night, Green Turtle Comedy Club, 2 shows. So you've got 3 chances to see me. if you come to the first show and tell me that you're coming to all 3 shows, I will do a different set. How's that sound?
I love that.
I will do 3 different sets for you. I would not. I will maybe cross over 10%. I might do a couple. I might do some introductory things that cross over.
Right. Yeah, you're always going to have the hi. My name's Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. If I bring some merch, I might do that joke. So like, just keep that in mind. I will make an effort to do 3 different shows. You come to that first show, tell me you're coming to the others. I'll do 3 different shows. How's that sound?
This is pure audience participation.
Yeah.
You get to control what's going on.
And you can buy 3 tickets, and I'll do 3 different shows for you. So anyway, come out to that, and then April 12th, I will be at the Middleburg American Legion.
Nice. That's a fun show.
Did you do it?
Yes, I did it last summer. It was a blast.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be doing that. Patrick Carson runs that one. Patrick Carson's a good dude. We should have him on sometime. He's another Clay County comic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's April 12th. And then, we'll go from there. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. This has been Today Is. See you tomorrow.
Have a good one.